Okay, so for anyone who's ever really, obsessed over what makes a timepiece truly special, today we're diving into something that kind of redefines it. Just picture holding something that feels like a real marvel of human ingenuity. It takes this old scientific discovery, like way back from the 17th century, blends it with some seriously cutting-edge 21st century engineering, and then wraps it all up in this exquisite, almost artisanal beauty. We are talking about the Armin Strom X-Revolution dual-time GMT resonance Tremblage watch. And this really isn't just another way to tell time. Not at all. It's more like a profound statement about what a watch can be in the world of, well, what they call hot horology.
Yeah.
The absolute peak of fine watchmaking.
Exactly. And for this deep dive, we've really been digging into a pretty comprehensive article. It's from an online magazine that focuses purely on these kinds of fine watches. It's a really rich source,
Yeah.
packed with all the little intricate details that really highlight the immense care and thought that goes into creations like this one.
Precisely. So our mission today really is to unpack all those layers, the complexity, the beauty in this very limited edition piece. We want to reveal not just what makes it tick, mechanically speaking, but also maybe uncover some of those fascinating patterns of innovation you see in high horology and, what it genuinely takes to create something that stands out as truly remarkable. So, yeah, let's get into it. Okay, let's start with the basic idea. GMT watch. I mean, most of us think of its utility, right? For travelers, that sheer convenience of just glancing down and seeing two time zones, super practical, a staple really for anyone who travels a lot. But Armin Strom seems to be asking something different here. It's like, how do you take that practical thing, that complication, and push it into the realm of art? Or maybe even scientific demonstration. What do you think is the real philosophical shift there? The thing that lifts it beyond just being useful?
That's a really good question because it definitely goes beyond just, sticking a second time zone hand on there. What Armin Strom does, and our source material really emphasizes this, is they take it one step further. They incorporate resonance. And resonance in watchmaking is this incredibly rare, really intriguing phenomenon. They built it into their dual-time GMT resonance editions. So it's about fundamentally changing how the time is kept and displayed, not just adding another dial.
Right, resonance.
Yeah.
And the history of that concept is just wild. It goes all the way back to Christian Huygens, the Dutch scientist, in 1665. Can you imagine that? Way back then. And he observed something pretty amazing. Two separate pendulum clocks. If you hung them from the same wooden beam, eventually their pendulums would start swinging in perfect sync.
Exactly. Synchronized.
It's almost like this natural physical harmony, isn't
Yeah.
it? This tendency for things that oscillate to just fall into step. Kind of speaks to some deep principle.
It really does. And that natural phenomenon, Huygens spotted, well, that's what Armin Strom's co-founder and master watchmaker Claude Greisler has really championed in the 21st century. His work on that groundbreaking mirrored force resonance watch back in 2016 really brought it to the forefront. It was just a remarkable achievement, honestly, to shrink that whole concept down, taking it from like a lab setup to something you can actually wear on your wrist.
Yeah, and that miniaturization, using Greisler's patented resonance clutch spring, that really is the key, isn't it? It's not just a tiny, clever solution. It's a brilliant example of how innovation works in watchmaking. You take this grand, old scientific idea and find an ingenious, really compact mechanical answer that makes it work in a totally new context.
Yeah.
Like bridging centuries of thought right there on your wrist. That tells you a lot about how high-end watchmaking actually moves forward.
And as if that wasn't tricky enough, the real challenge then became putting this complex resonance idea into a GMT watch. Our source mentions it took Armin Strom 3 solid years of work. 3 years just dedicated to integrating this dual resonance system into a watch that handles 2 time zones. I mean, that's a level of commitment you just don't see very often outside of, I don't know, space exploration maybe, for
Yeah.
something that at the end of the day tells time on your wrist.
3 dedicated years.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
wow. Okay, let's try and unpack this a bit more for you, our listener, because it's one thing to talk about, 17th century science and patented springs, but how does this dual resonance GMT actually work for the person wearing it? Like, what does it feel like? And were there trade-offs, maybe, in keeping the outside looking so clean, given how complicated it is inside?
Well, the core mechanics are genuinely ingenious. So the watch has 2 independent time zones, right? Each on its own separate dial. Clear enough. But here's the crucial bit. These aren't just 2 displays run off one movement. They're powered by 2 independent but synchronized movements. Specifically, you've got 2 separate balance wheels running at 3.5 hertz. Those are like the oscillating hearts of the watch, and they beat perfectly together in unison. And that synchronization, That's all down to that central resonance clutch spring we mentioned. You can sort of picture that spring as this tiny, super precise mechanical link, like a microscopic vibrating bridge, making sure these two independent time engines stay perfectly locked in step. It's that physical connection doing the magic.
Hmm. And that independent setting,
Uh-huh.
using separate crowns for each dial, that sounds incredibly user-friendly, especially for a traveler. No messing about with complicated pushers or trying to remember which position does what. Seems very practical, very thoughtful, especially when you're maybe a bit jet-lagged.
Absolutely. And something that really makes it stand out, particularly if you travel to more unusual places, is its ability to handle those unconventional offsets, like 30 or 45 minutes. Lots of standard GMTs only do full hours. So this is actually a really key detail for people who genuinely go to places like parts of India or Australia where you find those half-hour differences.
That's a great point. And despite all this incredible engineering packed inside, the watch itself stays surprisingly slim. The article says it's identical in size to the 39mm scale one they released in 2025, and just 9.05 millimeters thick. So you're getting all this technical wizardry without a massive brick on your wrist. It makes it actually wearable every day, which is quite an achievement. All right, so we've kind of dissected the brilliant engineering side. Now let's pivot. Let's talk about the artistry, because that's just as compelling here. This watch isn't just clever. It's like a canvas for some incredible craftsmanship, especially that tremblage technique you mentioned. When you see pictures of it, it genuinely looks alive, almost like the surface is vibrating or shimmering. It must be incredible in person, every little shift of light.
It's precisely that kind of visual life they were going for. The tremblage part of this limited edition is where the artistry really takes center stage. You have these two solid gold dials, and they've been decorated by a master engraver, Julian Grufeller, using this very specific, very traditional technique. And when you look closely, you see this micro-etched pattern. It creates a surface that honestly seems to be trembling. It's just an incredibly intricate, almost organic texture, sets it apart immediately.
And the details just keep layering on top of that, don't they? You've got these blackened, hand-engraved day-night indicators, and they're mounted right on the 24-hour wheels, which provides this really beautiful, stark contrast against the gold dial. Then there's that snailed peripheral chapter ring. The outer track for the minutes has this subtle spiraling texture.
Yeah, the snailing.
Right, snailing. It adds another layer of visual depth, and that's complemented by these polished, faceted indices that catch the light. It sounds stunning.
The whole visual language, the harmony and contrast, it's clearly very deliberate. You've got the frosted gold base plate underneath everything, giving this rich, subtle texture, and then bam, you have the mirror-polished balance bridges, those structural bits holding the oscillating wheels, and the resonance clutch, also polished. Every element seems placed and finished to draw your eye. It's almost like a miniature sculpture or an architectural landscape on your wrist.
And then you flip it over, the reverse side gives you this amazing view of the movement itself. It's the caliber ARF-22. Symmetrical, beautifully finished, completely in-house manual winding. And it's got twin barrels, which give it a decent 42-hour power reserve. So it's not just technically impressive, it's a visual treat from the back, too.
Yeah, and if you connect this to the sort of broader picture of fine watchmaking, the specific visual details on the back are significant, too. You see these two open-worked steel bridges, finished in black polish, which is notoriously difficult to do perfectly. They say the design is inspired by marine chronometers, those incredibly accurate old seafaring clocks. And through the openings, you can see the laser-engraved specs. And functionally, while you have the separate crowns for setting the time on each dial, the right-hand crown does double duty. It also handles winding the whole movement. It's a nice little nod to historical precision instruments, but integrated really smoothly into a modern design.
Okay, so we've walked through the history, the science bit, the really complex engineering, and the incredible artistry. Let's bring it all together now. What does a piece like this actually mean? For someone who might consider buying one, sure, but also for the watchmaking world itself, what does it really say about the market and about the pretty passionate community that follows this stuff?
Well, that brings us to a really crucial point: exclusivity. This specific version, the Tremblage edition, is extremely limited. We're talking just 5 pieces worldwide. When you get into horology, that level of rarity is, well, it's genuinely significant. It really transforms the piece from just being a very nice watch into a serious collector's item, a work of art almost.
Yeah, exactly. 5 pieces, and naturally it comes with a price tag reflecting that rarity and the sheer amount of craft involved. It retails for 100,000 Swiss francs. That's before tax. And it was sold exclusively through revolutionwatch.com starting back on September 2nd, 2025. So yeah, this isn't just popping down the shops for a watch. It's acquiring a pretty rare and innovative slice of horological art.
And this kind of high-level innovation, it inevitably sparks debate, doesn't it? Especially within the enthusiast community, which can be very, very passionate about definitions and technical purity. Our source material actually gives us a little window into this. It quotes comments directly from readers of the article. For instance, one commenter named Hubert J. clearly gets it. He says, "This right here is the hottest of horology. If I had to spend 100K on a watch, I would consider this." That's pretty high praise, right? A clear thumbs up for the innovation.
But then, almost immediately, you get a totally different take. A challenge, really, from someone called Frank Paul. He counters with, "It's not a resonance watch when the balances are connected through a clutch, period. Full stop." That's a very strong statement. It directly questions whether this mechanism even fits the traditional definition of resonance.
Right. And Schubert J., the first commenter, actually comes back with a counter question. He asks, "I see no reason why resonance couldn't occur through a metal spring." And that little exchange perfectly illustrates those really nuanced technical discussions that happen in expert communities, where the definitions themselves, the boundaries of concepts are constantly being debated and maybe even reevaluated as new technologies emerge.
Yeah, those differing views really highlight the complexity, don't they? And maybe the subjective nature of defining what innovation truly means, even if it feels as technical as watchmaking. What one person sees as a genuine breakthrough that expands the definition, someone else might see as, I don't know, maybe bending the rules too far, or maybe just a different interpretation. It's fascinating to see how these communities grapple with new ideas and progress. So, there you have it, our deep dive into the Armin Strom X-Revolution dual-time GMT resonance Tremblage. They've kind of journeyed from a 17th century physics observation right through to a 21st century watchmaking masterpiece, highlighting its pretty unique blend of historical science, some seriously complex engineering, and that truly artisanal, hand-finished touch.
And if you sort of zoom out, look at the bigger picture, this watch really embodies how genuine innovation pushes boundaries. Not just technically, but conceptually, too. It sparks these intense debates among experts, which is healthy, really. It encourages everyone to think a bit deeper about technical terms, about definitions, all while showcasing the undeniable, lasting value of true craftsmanship in a world that's becoming more and more automated.
It leaves you wondering, doesn't it? What happens when what seems like a small technical detail, like a clutch spring,